morning, everybody. It is Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And it's a cold one out there this morning. Hope everybody's well and staying warm. Okay, as promised, I'm going to go through the fabricated PPO violation by Sergeant G. Walsh of the Tecumseh, Michigan Police down there in Tecumseh, Michigan 49286.
I'd be the worst drug like that worst police officer to talk to kids about drugs because I'd get fired and I'd be on the front page of the paper.
That's funny.
Like, listen, kids, we're gonna play a little game. Like,
oh, that's not what we're doing.
We've got.
I just screwing around. All right, let's get to the report from Sergeant Walsh from February 9th of 2022. It's almost 4 years ago. Sergeant Walsh alleges I violated a bogus PPO. And I say it's bogus because there was no validity to the PPO signed by Circuit Court Judge, the Honorable Anna Marie Anzalone there in Lenawee County. But yeah, let's just get to his report and go through it real quick. And okay, open this up. I'm going to do this. Put it right there. How about right there, guys? And I can... So the occurrence date was 2/9 of 2022 at 4:20. Here you see, created by Gregory Walsh. Report date 2/9/2022. But down here, it was created on 2/10/2022 at 5:21. So this is where it was, I don't know if it was meant to be confusing or just the way he said it was towards the end of his shift on 2/9. That's why he didn't get to it till 2:10. But Sergeant Walsh didn't pull an incident number from Lenawee County Dispatch until 2:10. And after speaking with the Central Dispatch there in Lenawee County, they said that's a very abnormal occurrence for an officer not to pull the incident number the same day the incident happened. He says he was in the middle of, interviewing the witness / victim, Ms. Martinez, in the case. So the violation was a contempt of court PPO violation. And I wasn't notified by the Tecumseh PD and Gregory Walsh until 15 days after the incident occurred. So, yeah, he came to my house, I think, on the 24th of February to let me know this incident took place. That's got some of my personal information on that. We'll go right to the meat and potatoes, as they say, right? Let me bring this over here. There we go. All right. So there's T.E. Walsh G. I guess the T.E. is Tecumseh. So we'll read through this and add some commentary. Information. In January 2022, I took a complaint where Stephen Croswick was stalking Maritza Martinez, TPD 22-47. An arrest warrant was ultimately issued on that complaint. Additionally, Martinez applied for and was granted a PPO protecting her from Stephen Croswick that was served. And I was served twice, I believe. I was served at my house by I believe a process server, and then I was served again at the Tecumseh Police Department by Sergeant Wright when I was either submitting a FOIA request or retrieving a completed request. I don't recall which. So on 2/9/2022, I was informed Stephen Croswick was arrested on 2/8. And I'm going to make a video and show the timeline of events, how it happened, with the PPOs being filed. I believe they were filed on the 7th of January. So we had an incident on the 5th of January, an alleged incident on the 6th of January that was all fabricated, conspired, and orchestrated, all that. And then the PPOs were submitted. The request for PPOs were submitted on the 7th. I had court. I believe I had a hearing to try and terminate the PPOs on the 7th of February. I had court on the 8th of February and arrested on my way to court. And then this happened on the 9th of February, 2022. But I'm going to lay that all out and show that in a different video. So back to what I was saying. I was informed Stephen Croswick was arrested on 2/8 for the aforementioned case. And just to give you some context, Tecumseh is a small town, like 8,500 people. I think the department might have 10 officers, including, well, at the time they had 4 sergeants, 2 day sergeants, 2 night sergeants, a police chief, and then, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 officers. So I think 10 or 12 total officers on the Tecumseh police force. He was to appear at TBD sometime during the day for fingerprints on 2/9, and that's true. That's true. They ordered me to get fingerprints done for the stalking case. I was at the station when he appeared around 13:45. He was instructed by Officer Williams he could not bring recording devices into the department during fingerprinting. At first, he refused to enter the non-public area of the PD, expressing having great reason to not trust the Tecumseh Police Department. And that's true. I did have some trust issues. Our relationship at this point, me being a law-abiding citizen and the Tecumseh PD being who they are, it was a little bit of a, confrontational relationship, maybe. I don't know what the right word is. It was not necessarily a good relationship. At first, he refused to enter the non-public, expressing, okay. Officer Williams assured Croswick that his, Williams, body camera would be recording. And we all know, anybody that's dealt with getting body cam through FOIA requests, it's time consuming. There's always a fee for doing so. It costs you money. And previous to this, there was a couple incidents where their body cameras weren't activated. So he's telling me his body cam's working on and recording. Okay. Croswick was reluctant, but agreed to enter the police department to be fingerprinted. I did. I reluctantly entered to get my fingerprints taken at the Tecumseh PD. I left my backpack in the truck and entered the back area. It was somewhere in the back room. They had a room, and it was Officer Williams, and there was another officer. I don't recall which one. It wasn't Walsh or Wright. I don't know who the other one was. Having prior experience with Croswick and his behavior, I suspected he'd instigate some sort of situation later in the day. Mind you, at this time, I guess I was in contempt of the Tecumseh PD, contempt of cop at this point, because they were looking for anything that they perceived or, anything I did would just live and shovel in my driveway. They said I was doing something, walking to my truck, sitting in my truck to warm it up in the morning in the middle of winter to defrost the windshield. You got to sit there maybe a little bit for it to get, before you can safely drive and see out. That was an issue. I couldn't do anything. So, I checked Martinez's residence and another city resident who has a PPO on Croswick, and with everything appearing to be okay. When he's stating the other city resident who has a PPO, that was my ex-wife. That was my ex-wife. I don't know why he didn't list it as that. He just listed it as just some random. It was my ex-wife who filed for a PPO the same day that Ms. Martinez filed for a PPO. Later in the day, while on random patrol on 2/9/22, around 16:34, so 4:34, keep that in mind, 4:34, I noticed Croswick walking his dogs 2 blocks away and towards Martinez's residence. I was able to identify him as I could clearly see his face and stature when he turned to me with a big smile. Oh, a large smile. Specifically, Croswick was westbound in the 100 block of West Kilbuck, west of Evans Street. Martinez's house, which was a physical address, 216 West Kilbuck, is at the corner of Kilbuck and South Main Lane. It appeared he was going to cross in front of her house. I drove around the direct area to attempt to see Croswick's route. At 16:38, so at 4:38, Croswick was northbound in the 200 block of South Main Lane. it was apparent he'd walked directly in front of her residence. However, I was not witness to that. Based on his arrest and the probable PPO violation, I contacted Martinez and advised her of the arrest and his dog walking route. Martinez checked her security camera to see if come on now. To see if it picked up Croswick walking his dog in front of the house. Martinez forwarded me video of Croswick walking in front of her house eastbound in the 200 block of West Killbuck at about 16:20 hours. There's no recording of Croswick's return home at 16:38, as the camera records larger items such a vehicle movement or people at or very near the camera. While interviewing Martinez, she stated her neighbor, Mike, probably has video of Croswick. She called neighbor Mike Bloomfield on speaker, so I was able to participate in the conversation. Okay, so at this point, we will take a look at some video of said incident. What do we got here? I don't have these. Well, we'll start with the video that they say was me. Whoops. Let's bring that back. Okay. And here you got like a Nissan Sentra getting ready to turn onto Killbuck. And then right behind this pole, you have an individual that is walking a dog. And this is, as you can see, here we'll bring that over a little bit so we're within the window, at 16:20. So he stands back behind that pole for a little bit, his dog doing something, whatever. Car goes by, and there you see this man walking his dog. Pretty tall man, pretty good sized dog. Man is wearing all black. So there you go. There's it. Close that. And then what's this video? Let's see what we got here. This is at 16:06. What's this of? Oh, that's me leaving for my walk that day on 2/9. There's one of my dogs. Oh, there's my other dog. And I'm wearing a hoodie sweatshirt with a white t-shirt hanging out, a ball cap, and some tan Adidas high top sneakers. And I'm headed to the right. I'm headed, I guess that would be north on South Main Lane for my dog walk. Because at the time, with the PPO in place, I was not able to head south on Maiden Lane. Due to the restriction of the PPO. Okay, so that was at 4:06. What we got here? This is at 10 minutes after. 10 minutes after 4. And this car comes by. So shortly after I left my home, this car goes by with this dog hanging out the window. Let's see which way that turns. Let's see if we can see which way that car turns. Well, it appears that car I mean, it's hard to see, but it either went straight or turned left. It didn't turn right for sure, and it didn't come back up the street. So, okay, so you got the Ford Fusion with a puppy dog in the back. What we got here? This is 1627. Oh, that's just a pink Jeep that goes by. Nothing really there. I don't see any other activity other than the pink Jeep. Do I see any cars over there? No. So that's that. What else we got? So this is at 1633. Mind you, Sergeant Wright stated.
Edit, Sergeant Walsh. My bad.
We'll bring that back up. But he stated. Can I do that maybe? I think we can. Yeah. 1634. While on random patrol around 1634, so he's not exact on that. But at 1638, Croswick was northbound in the 200 block of South Main Lane. At 1638. So let's get back to our video. Might have to bring that up a little more. There we go. So there's a timestamp by Ring Doorbell and the Amazon Corporation who bought Ring Doorbell. So there's 1633. And here's Croswick and his two little dogs. He's a responsible pet owner. You see here he's got a poo-poo bag. And he goes in his driveway where his trash can is to throw away the poo-poo. All right? Okay. Here he comes back out of his driveway, minus the poo-poo. And, oh, look at a big S on his hat. Pretty easy and identifiable, I would think. A big ass S. And okay, reaching in the pocket for some keys. Is this the one? So, where's that 634? I enter the house with my dogs. A couple kids. ride by on their bicycles. And again, Sergeant Walsh didn't inform me of this PPO violation until 15 days after the alleged event. What do we got here? This is at 1649. So this is after I went inside. Anything happened at this point? Oh, that car goes by. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So here's the witness statement. This is referring to this Mike Bloomfield. He advised Croswick walked past his house at 16:21. He knew the time because he called someone right after he passed by. He said Croswick mumbled something about not being happy that his, Bloomfield's dog, was unleashed in the front yard. He advised Croswick walked east in the direction in front of his house, which is a couple of houses from Martinez. He said he saw Croswick walk his dogs, now we're plural, past his house, later westbound, and continued in front of Martinez's house. This was likely the time I saw him at 1638. Mind you, I showed myself walking into my house at 1634, so there's a 4-minute lapse here. It should be noted Croswick can easily travel east or west by leaving his house north to Potawatomi, and that's what I was doing since I was served with the PPO, and they knew that. It was weird. Every time I would go for a walk with my dogs, and it wasn't every day, but a Tecumseh patrol vehicle would usually drive by me. I mean, it's a small town. Coincidence? Maybe. But both Potawatomi Street and West Kilbuck, where the victim lives, are almost identical in traffic volume and traffic devices. Huh? What's a traffic device when it comes to walking? What? I don't know what a traffic man is. He referring to like a stop sign and stoplights and crosswalks and stuff? I don't know. I don't know what Greg's talking about here. It appears Croswick is intentionally appearing in front of Martinez's residence in an attempt to intimidate, annoy, frighten, molest, or otherwise harass her and her family. So Martinez further, I continued with Martinez after the phone call with Bloomfield. She advised Monday 2/7 she had to appear in court as Croswick was contesting the PPO against him. I think we may both have appeared via Zoom, but I guess it's still considered court. She advised her case was combined with another woman's case who also had a PPO against Croswick. Just some random woman. No, was my ex-wife, client of criminal lawyer Michael Brooks, and Miss Martinez states more than once that she's very good friends with criminal lawyer Michael Brooks. She met the woman who advised she was once married to Croswick, attorney Michael Brooks, whom Martinez knew, was advising the former wife of Croswick. Martinez advised the judge. Martinez advised the judge heard Croswick's argument and ruled the PPOs were to remain in effect. Go figure. Corrupt Judge Anna Marie Anzalone. Not only hears any criminal cases that get brought against you, but is also your judge in family court. Now, to me, that in itself is a conflict. I don't think a family court judge should be hearing any criminal stuff. I mean, they've already... I think a family, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think a family court judge should exclusively do family court, custody, divorces, that stuff. I don't think they should be a criminal court judge. It would, they'd have to hire another judge in Lenawee County to do that. But I think it's too much gets, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Tuesday morning, 2/8/22, Martinez was out for her morning run. She observed Croswick's truck parked directly in front of Brooks's private residence. It should be noted Brooks was the complainant on a telephone harassment in May of 2021. It should be noted that the coward weasel Mike Brooks complained to the police for one phone call to his office. Who does that? Who does that? You get one phone call, a cordial conversation with his secretary, and he calls the police? That's kind of peculiar, isn't it? And then you're called by the local police with threats of arrest for making a phone call. One phone call, mind you, one phone call to his publicly, he's got his office number. Wasn't like I called his private cell phone or something. I called his office that he publicly publishes online for people to call. I had a 4 or 5 minute conversation with his secretary, and I did make a few calls to the local offices in Lenawee County, the public defenders, and they were telling me I can't call those either, to do a little investigation and ask personal questions. Like, is the man contracted by the county? And how much is the county paying this guy? Those are personal questions. Those aren't personal questions. So I did a bunch of FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act, public records requests, and got the information I was looking for. So we're going to do another video on all the bullshit they did for the stalking, and how small town cops with big egos and, and I'll try and explain Lenawee County and Tecumseh more in the next video. So if you're not from Michigan, if you're not from a small town, if you're not aware of how they operate and the things they do, and who they protect and serve, I'll try and explain that for the laymen and women. So, hope everybody has a good Saturday. we'll be back with another video and show you how this all played out. So, all right. All right. Be true to yourself and you will never fall. Peace out, baby.